Ah, ah, Dinky-Doo, a very good evening. And we are, of course, live on YouTube, just for you. Dinky-Doo, welcome, welcome. Who do we have with us tonight? Frank McElroy. Hello, Scottie. Nice to see you. And you, Frank. Scottie, how are you tonight? Dinky-Doo, everyone. Enjoy the sun. Let's have a fantastic weekend. From the wonderful Kareem. Excellent to know you're there, Kareem. Evening, Scottie. Good to see you again, sir. And you, Anthony. Welcome, 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 everybody, to the live chat. It always amuses me because there's lots of people watching at the start. 2 seconds in, they disappear and then come back. Very, very strange. Right, I'm going to just see what we've got here. Get this up and let's get moving tonight. So much to talk about, so little time to do it in. Now, do you think there's going to be another lockdown? Tell me what you're really thinking about it. Absolutely incredible. Also, I notice that there's a great fuss being made about immigrants coming in rubber dinghies. Now, this has been going on for 2,000 years. Not necessarily rubber dinghies, but movement of peoples throughout the world. And they're being called illegal, but it can't be illegal because obviously the law is very complex, and that's why there's a lot of discussion. So you can tell us about your thoughts on this. Evening, Lord of the Internet, John Jones. Welcome. Lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo. I hope you've been telling 10 to tell 10 to tell 10, because I did announce all day that we were live tonight at 9 o'clock sharp. So there we go. Craig Cochran. Hello, Scottie. Hope you're well. Dinky-Doo, everyone. Absolutely, Craig. Lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo. So let's have a little bit of a discussion going. Let's get some proper chit-chat going. Alistair Campbell. Hello there, China. Hello, Alistair. Always great to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo. We're heading the way France is now. Now, John Jones, tell me more about that, because to say we're heading the way France is doesn't mean anything to a lot of people. Can you give me a like, please, if you've just joined us, and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. So tell us more about this, John. I'm very, very interested. Tony says, I really hope there won't be another lockdown, but the R rate is rising all the time to dangerous levels. We're only 2 weeks behind France. Now I see what you mean by that. I wasn't sure if you're talking about the immigrants or the coronavirus, but do let's get a bit of that discussed tonight and get some serious chit-chat going, because we've had a lot of fun, great fun building up the streams, but we also want to hear what you're really thinking. So get your opinions out there, and I shall announce them to the nation. So, yes, of course, nobody wants a lockdown, Tony. Let's be honest about it. The wonderful Glenn Peacock down in Yorkshire. He says, worrying times, Scottie. Very worrying times for lots of people. But worry isn't going to sort it for us. We need to sort it out. We need to be practical about this. Definitely. Far too many not listening. Oh, absolutely, Frank. But don't worry about that. It'll take a while to build it up. Now, as you know, Frank, nothing happens overnight on social media. So there should be billions watching Scottie McClue right now, but we've got to tell everybody about it because they don't know it's on. There we are. France is getting 10,000 cases a day. John Jones, that is really tut-tut-tut-tut. That is serious, serious, serious stuff. In France, there's been football with the fans back in the stadiums. Well, I think they're just not thinking. Scottie, you should be out there enforcing the 6-person rule. I'm in here enforcing it, Robert. You've got to remember, the whole world could watch this. If I go out, then that's just adding to the people that are about. Our government's pathetic, Scottie, in England. So there we are. Very interesting, Glenn. Do you think England should go for independence, Glenn? Tell us what your feelings are on that. I'm just going to get to the chat here and see what's happening. Top chat, live chat we make, don't we? There we go, like. Excellent. And we'll just say that we're live now, guys, yes? So I'll take that. There we go. And I'll copy that. And I'll just do a little bit of sharing just to let everybody know what is what. Very, very important. The Nightingale Hospital's to be ready in 48 hours. Alistair, do you think they're really expecting it as quickly as that? How very, very interesting. Yes, very interesting. As I say, it's all intelligent people on here. So that's why we need to discuss these things. Now, I'll just put that we're live now. Did you all get your notifications to say McClue was going to pop up tonight at 9 o'clock sharp? Tell 10 to tell 10. Who has sent me £1? Somebody has tapped the dollar. Has everybody given us a like? Have we had the thumbs up? Has everybody subscribed? There we are. Right, I'm just going to do all this now. Scottie. There we are. Yes. Live now. Good. Right. Okay, so I'm just going to put that up, and that lets everybody know what is what. Scottie McClue is live now. Do join us at Dinky-Doo. That's the stuff to give the troops. There we are now. Okay, so what are we going to do about this? The exhibition centre will be next. So what have we got here, says Tony? Kareem's tapped the dollar. Kareem has tapped the dollar and sent £1. Kareem, thank you. Top man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful stuff. So there we are. Kareem has tapped the dollar. Now then, Tony Mac, I'm really glad BBC Scotland saw the good common sense to allow the First Minister's coronavirus briefings. It's their duty as a public service broadcaster. I could never understand why they weren't going to do that in the first place. Very strange. I would like to know what's behind that. Kareem, thank you very, very much. Somebody else has tapped the dollar as well. Maria Knight has tapped the dollar. Maria Knight, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very, very, very generous. There we are. Maria Knight has sent £10. She's tapped the dollar and sent £10. Glenn says, are you going to do more streams? Yes, we will, Glenn, as things get into order. And the winter will be coming in. So we'll do more streams. Thank you, Maria. That was extremely kind. Liked and shared. Job done, Scottie. Craig Cochrane. Appreciated. Marvellous. I'm just going to do the same right now. So if you can all do the same and get this going round there so that everybody knows McClue is live. Scottie, do you think England should be independent? Yes, I think probably that would be a good idea, and then they would also see what the others are dealing with. So, you know, English independence, why not? It's not to do with nationalism, it's to do with administrating your own country. Things have got very complicated recently, and I think if we had Ireland and Scotland and Wales and England all independent with their own parliaments and their own budgeting, getting things on the go there, it would not be all that bad an idea. You see, when people talk about Scotland being independent, Scotland's been independent for thousands of years, and it's only been in a union for 313 years. And there was a lot of jiggery-pokery and bribery and corruption to get that union going. It's a bit like Brexit. So there we are. It wasn't a terribly healthy setup that was going on. A lot of cajoling. And Scotland was actually bought and sold for £1,500. I'll give you £2,000 without seeing it. How about that? So there you are. So that's what we're needing to look at. We're needing to say, what is actually going on here? Robert Scrimger, BBC paying ridiculous salaries to certain individuals who I won't name, yet asking the over 75s to pay the fee. A few years' time, the BBC will be over. I think it would. some of the money that they've been paying, they would have got Scottie McClue for that. So there you are. And we do need a national phone-in with Scottie McClue. Very, very important. What time are you on till tonight, Scottie? Just till everybody gets fed up, Glenn? So another couple of minutes? No. I think we'll certainly do an hour, eh? What about that? I think it's very important, but it depends on how much sharing everybody does to let everybody know that we're on. That's the big thing. You know, we've got to get the figures up. There's no point in us just joining each other, you know, maybe 40 of us or something on a Friday night. We need a good few thousand. And that will happen. Don't worry about the cost. Had it for 20 years. Right. I'm just going to do a bit more sharing here, and you can all do the same. Very important. Get the sharing going, guys, because that's what's important. Tell all your friends watching Scottie McClue is on Live the New. That sort of idea. The Isle of Man have always managed it. One of the oldest parliaments going, the House of Keys. Yes, absolutely. The Isle of Man, fantastic. I used to broadcast to the Isle of Man. Scottie, what do you think of the Alliance for Independence group? Divisive or not for Scottish independence? Yes, I don't know a great deal about it, so I won't actually comment on it at the moment. I have to say the most dangerous people to Scottish independence are those who want a Scottish republic. That's very, very dangerous to independence. That may be the one that actually clobbers independence. So you need to embrace the monarchy under the crown. It's status quo. It doesn't involve any problem. And people need to stop cheeking up about the crown. The crown is almost self-financing. And it brings in fact, more than self-financing, brings in absolute fortunes. And we need to think about that. The half-witted idiots. She lives in a big house. You know, just a lot of nonsense. And we need to get our head round that and put a stop to it. You don't do that, then you don't get your independence. That's a non-starter. It becomes a non-starter. And we don't want that. So there we are. Scottie, there we are. Kareem says he names two big politicians have made the Tories and Labour will never allow another Section 30 in the ref. Well, is it up to them to allow? Because we seem to be forgetting that the agreement at the Act of Union was that it was 50-50 between England and Scotland. So this concept of allowing shouldn't really come into it. Scotland has at least 50%, and the other 50% have to say, well, I don't see why not if that's what the Scottish people want, as long as it's under the crown. So there we go. So that's what we're saying. Scottie for Prime Minister. Glenn Peacock. My goodness me. You wouldn't want to put me through all that, would you? There we are. Although I would do it if I thought it would help the people. You know, I would do it if I thought it would help the people. I think it was a Labour politician and Lord who complained to the BBC that made the BBC want to cancel Nicola Sturgeon's broadcast. Well, you see, we can't have that because the BBC has to be balanced. Absolute skills, the skills of justice, the skills of information. And the BBC should just be like that all the time. Yeah? And they have a good sense of balance. So that's something that should have been discussed, not by somebody complaining, but big discussion with the people, because the people are paying for the BBC, so should have a say. Yes? Scottie, where do we go? Where do we go? There needs to be more, Glenn. I'll have to wait for some more. Right, can we all share, guys? Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. We need a lot more sharing going on here. I'm just going to share in a YouTube group. I think that's the one for us, isn't it? Although, you know, a lot of the sharing The problem with social media sites, if you're very successful, it sort of gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Yes, that sort of idea. It's as if they don't want you to be on there doing your stuff. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, how are you? Says J-Dog. J-Dog, lovely to have you with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Enough of the independence talk. More important issues need sorted. Frank, what could be more important than the future of your country? What could be more important? Give me a more important issue to be discussed, and we will discuss it. But if you think there's anything more important than independence, apart from COVID, then do let me know. Wonderful. Sorry, typo. Where do we go as the nation, bearing in mind this was predicted for a second wave a while ago? Yes, it was. And it's going to be very, very interesting. Excuse me. You should never, ever rub your eye. But I just did. I think this is very, very important. There we are. That we do discuss where we're going next with this. Can I have more likes? If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We need subscribers. So there we are. So where are we going with the second wave? Should we have had a complete and utter lockdown? So that if you see people having a party, you round them up and stick them in the slammer. You know? That's the way. Don't round them up. You social distance them and stick them in the slammer. Right? Would that have been a more sensible thing? I saw that the BBC is losing money. A lot of people in Scotland threatened not to pay the TV licence. I think that had a big part to play in the BBC's decision. Oh, absolutely. You see, you've got to remember, the BBC collects 9% of its licence fee from Scotland. 9%. And gives us back, I think, 3% in programming, unless that's changed. We do have a new television channel. I'm told that it's not terribly heavily subscribed. Scottie, how many cells would be full? Well, we could always build maybe concentration camps for the people who are letting us down and breaking the law. So go in a bit heavier and say, you're not social distancing in the camp with you. You know, but would they social distance in the camp? The only thing is, if it's in the camp, there's a chance of containing the virus. Scottie, I don't know who that is, so there we go. There we go. Yes, how many cells would be full? Yes, I think you can always build more prisons, if people can't behave. And there's also a bit of a kind of cheeking up from people as well, thinking, I'm not being any of that. Ridiculous nonsense, you see. We don't want that. You've got lots of rivers around. You could have prison ships and put people that won't isolate them on there. So they are, good evening, says Jammer. Good evening, Jammer. Nice to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I say thank you to everybody who has tapped the dollar. There we are. I'm just going to carry on sharing, guys, and you can do the same. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've just joined us and you're wondering what on earth's going on, you're watching Scottie McClue, the first lord of the internet, the world's top broadcaster, and the world's most humble man. Here we are live, and we are discussing what to do with people who can't behave, who won't isolate when they've been told. That's what I say, yes. Right. I'm just going to... Guys, if any of you have a Reddit account, go on and follow Scottie_McClue. Right? If you've got a Reddit account, get on and follow Scottie_McClue. Get yourself on there. Big style, right? I'll pop that up. People will always rebel, but pride comes before a fall. Absolutely, Glenn. I don't think another lockdown would be the answer, as the likelihood it would just be a repeat of what we've been through. So there we go. John Jones. Yes, thank you, John. Excellent stuff. I could do my show from a ship. You're quite right. So there, but I'll take that one down. I will not mention the famous people. Famous people. Excellent. So there you go. So get yourselves on to Scottie_McClue on Reddit. Yes, and you'll see me on there. That would be fantastic. There's always something new happening with Scottie McClue. Wonderful stuff. What else have we got here? Yes. Agreed, Scottie, says Kareem. Thank you, Kareem. So there we go. So, Frank, where did you get this enough of the independence talk? You know, Scottie, you could rally the troops. I think so, Glenn Peacock, because we tell the truth on here. That's what it's all about. We tell the truth. I mean, all this nonsense that's being made about the people coming in on the rubber dinghies, we have, I think it's less than 1% of our quota. So there we go. Very, very interesting. But what's happening, there's certain people playing on folks' xenophobia. Same with Brexit. That was xenophobia. Think sooner rather than later people will panic buy. Now, Frank, why would they panic buy if there's no panic? During lockdown, the numbers decrease, obviously, but as it eases, there's always going to be spikes till we find a proper vaccine. Yes, or until it dies out. You know, because really the problem is, and the problem with finding a vaccine, we don't really know what we're dealing with. That's what's happening. We don't know what we're dealing with. Yes. Right, I'm just going to do another little bit of sharing. Okay. Now, we're on local lockdown from Tuesday. Is that happening in Scotland also? RTB, where are you roughly? And you're on local lockdown. Do you really think it will die out, Scottie? Well, if you stop bridging it, because it's an airborne virus carried in droplets transmitted from one human being to another. And if you break the bridges with whatever, masks, social distancing, not going out, lockdowns, etc., then it can't travel. And once it dies off, surely it's going to die off unless it's lying dormant somewhere. Scottie, I think this virus will be here for a long time. It's just something we need to treat as the norm. Yeah, well, you see, there's no such thing, Glenn, as the norm. If I asked you to define normal, could you do it? Can I get more likes, please? And thank you for tapping the dollar, guys. Appreciate it. Scottie, it saddens me there's too many idiots still wanting to catch COVID in order to live normal. This threatens the vulnerable and elderly. Selfish, and shame on them. It's disgusting. I agree with you, Kareem. It's shocking. We have to wear goggles as well as a mask, don't you think? Now tell me why you said that, Jammer, because it can be transmitted via the eyes. Scottie, what is normal? Exactly, Glenn. That's what I'm asking you to define. Because normal is a word like nice. It's a sort of infinite quantity, a sort of unmeasurable quantity. What is normal? So there we go. Yes, says Jammer, yes, transmitted via the eyes. So maybe goggles are the next thing. But then we would also need prescription goggles, Jammer, because people who wear glasses would have a job seeing. Don't worry about the cough, had it for 20 years. I think I did so many broadcasts during lockdown. That was the thing there. This winter, Scottie, will be a killer. Cold, flu, and COVID. And we all have to be in together and looking out for each other. Well, they say that they don't want the schools off again, and they don't want business off again. Glenn says, Scottie, when I went to the local shop the other day, a guy had a gas mask on. Me and this woman couldn't believe our eyes. I don't think the gas mask is any good. I did inquire about that, about a Second World War gas mask, if it would be a barrier for COVID. But I didn't get a positive response. Does anybody know about that? Or is that just a relic well and truly from the past that belongs in the past? Do tell me. IV4809 has tapped the dollar, sent me £1.99. IV4809, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is very kind of you. Thank you to everybody who's tapped the dollar. Robert Scrimger, people who criticise constitutional monarchy, Scottie, don't realise that even in the Act of Union of 1707, the Church of Scotland was guaranteed. The act politically was wrong. Well, yes, it was always monarchically wrong as well, Robert, because Queen Anne was not being the clean tatty, I have to say. So there you go. She really shouldn't have been on the throne, but she was chosen over the likes of Charles Edward Stuart and James II, the old pretender, that sort of idea, because they had just passed the Act of Secession that a Catholic couldn't sit on the throne. Now, that only scraped by in Parliament by one vote. Now, let's just remember that this was the brand new unionised Parliament. Scotland, in the Scottish Parliament, which Queen Anne actually dissolved, the three estates, yes, the three estates, the nobles and the church and the burgesses, the three estates that was satirised by Sir David Lindsay in his Ain satire of the three estates, that opened the Edinburgh Festival in 1948, Sir David Lindsay in satire of the three estates. And Scotland was sold out for 1,500 quid to the nobles, 1,500 quid. And the Act of Secession, that a Catholic couldn't sit on the throne because the throne had been Catholic, non-Catholic, Catholic, non-Catholic. And that only passed by one vote. Scotland's Parliament, which had just been dissolved, had 308 MPs, right? And with the new unionised Parliament, Scotland could send 45 members to the House of Commons and 16 to the House of Lords. Now, that's not fair, is it? Scott, did you know the Glasgow Cathedral was built in the 1190s? Is there anything older in Glasgow? Yes. The Mullen Diner Bun was older. The oldest house is Provin's Lordship, just up the hill from the cathedral. So there you are. And of course, what was pretty old was Glasgow College, the original university, College Lands. And it also is out in the high street as well. If a piece of paper mask works and a WW2 gas mask doesn't, that would be interesting. TB13, you're talking nothing but sense here. I've had problems with my eyes, says Anthony, conjunctivitis. I need to go for a cataract op. I'm worried in case I've got a COVID infection in my eye. Well, have you any symptoms? And if anyone can help, well, Tony, COVID, they're starting to get a real handle on the symptoms. And they're not wanting people who've just got a cold to go bothering them. So all this, you should take a test, because if you've got the runny nose and stuff like that, that's not a symptom of COVID, apparently. That's you got a cold. All right? So, it's only going to hold up genuine cases if every time somebody gets a wee cough or a cold, they run and get tested. Yes? So there we are. Piece of paper mask working. Yes, I know what you mean. Can you believe We've been on for half an hour. Can you believe it? So there you are. Absolutely amazing. Can anybody help Tony? What would be the symptoms of COVID with reaction to his eyes? Any doctors watching across the world? Some countries, Scottie, where the Queen has been head of state as part of Empire / Commonwealth, haven't had their church law protected. So we're very lucky in Scotland. We are, Robert Stringer. And did you see that Barbados is thinking in not having the Queen as head of state? Tut, tut, tuttity, tut, 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 I say. So there we are. That's what I say there. So if anybody can help Tony out with that, please do. Now, what I'm thinking of doing here, guys, I'll do a wee bit of sharing on Twitter. But you need to help me with this one. This is always a goodie. Right, so you need to help with this one. There we are. There's the live stream up. So we know it's up. And we'll just say, there we are. Welcome. Wonderful. Now, right. So that way. Good. Excellent stuff. And what are we putting up here? There we are. That's the stuff. So I'll just put that up. And what can I put up here? I'm going to tweet, guys. Let everybody know that we're on. Very, very important. Excellent. There we are. And some more here. Right. So I'm just going to tweet this now. And if you see it, then send it around, I say. Send it around. Right. Right, that's been tweeted, so we'll see what comes of that. Hello, Scottie. It's been a long time since McAvoy production over in Cork there. Hope you're keeping well. Welcome back. I say, McAvoy, we had some fun during the lockdown. There we are. Keep the troops entertained. Scottie, what advice would you give to the nation regarding COVID? I would say follow all the instructions, the social distancing, mask up, don't go out anywhere there's other people unless it's absolutely unavoidable. As short a time as possible in the shops, social distancing in the shops. Don't go and get tests if you've just got the cold and gum up the system, right? See how it develops. If you don't have the headaches, if you've got a runny nose, there's every chance you've got the cold. So there we are. What are your views on the Ryan scheme? Well, Jammer, it was a bit of a con, really, out in the isthmus of Panama there, isn't it? South America. It was a bit of a con. But Scotland introduced the banking system, and Scotland has always been a winning country. So Ryan apart, it was a fail. And people were left hanging on. It was a kind of, the Ryan scheme was a bit like the South Sea Bubble Company. Have you ever looked that one up? Check that one, Jammer, and you'll get a good steer on it. The South Sea Bubble Company. When people pile in things and it gets so much enthusiasm, everybody joins in. Mask up and don't cheek up. Stuart Clark, top man. Alistair Campbell, the virus can get through some membranes in the eyes. Yes. Any advice, Tony? I have 3 masks, says Kareem. Kareem, do you have spares or do you have them on at the one time? Do say. Mask up and don't cheek up. I like that. So there. So Glenn, that would be my advice. don't go for cheeking up to the officials. They're only trying to save your life. You know, I think that's what we've got to remember. They're only trying to save your life. Now, right, we're doing very well with that tweet, guys. So if you're on Twitter, follow at Scottie McClue. Get on to that. Here, we're all the troops. Damn, Thomas has joined us. Dinky-Doo, Thomas, lovely to have you with us. I have a mask for work, a mask for the shops, and now a mask for the gym. Good one, Kareem. Excellent stuff. Glenn says, have you heard the English government has cancelled the traditional New Year's London celebrations? Has Scotland done the same with Hogmanay? Well, Hogmanay will change. The greatest celebration in Scotland over the last almost 30 years has been Scottie McClue's Hogmanay Bash on the radio. But I haven't done that for a year. So there we are. So we missed last year with Scottie McClue's Hogmanay Bash. I think we should celebrate Hogmanay on the television with Scottie McClue. How goes it, Scottie? You well? Absolutely, Tam, and your good self? Are you well, my dear fellow? And Dinky-Doo, I say, we're discussing all this lockdown stuff, Tam. The next step. So there we go. And we're discussing that independence won't happen unless we take the monarchy with us. And I know you're a big fan. So there we are. So we can see what is what. At Scottie McClue on the Twitter, everybody. And also, I'm on Twitch now, Scottie_McClue. Excellent stuff on Twitch. I can't believe how fast the time is flying tonight. Now, is this a good time to pop up? Do let me know. Right? Very, very important to let me know what's the best time for popping up. Because it's very difficult to know. If you're a YouTuber, when do you YouTube? Exhausted, Scottie, long day, our daughter's second birthday. Busy day for Erin and I. Tam, it would be. Bless the wee one. Happy birthday to her, I say. Why don't you hold a New Year bash here this year? Alistair Campbell, you know, you've got a point. Was I doing YouTube last Hogmanay? No, I don't think I was. Oh, that's lush. Absolutely lush. No, I started YouTubing during lockdown. Yes, because I've still got the growth from isolation. Scottie, more shops advise cashless instead of cash. What do you think? Absolutely, Glenn. What I've been doing is, you know, maybe have 15 quid in your wallet in case your card gets declined if you're doing the weekly shop. And McClue does a £15 weekly shop and gets a few of the bargains. But, you know, maybe have £15 handy in case the card gets declined. And they go, well, you can't have your shop. You know what I mean? That sort of idea. But everybody's backside is to the wall at the moment. Things are very, very tight for everyone. Does anybody think the shops are a little bit dearer these days? Do tell. Don't mention the name of the shop, but say if you feel your store, the prices have gone up a little bit for essentials. Yes, well worth talking about on here, I say. That is important. These are all the things folk want to talk about. I was watching a talk channel this week, and they were saying that this politician was coming on and that politician was coming on, and I thought, is this really of any interest to the people? You know? You know, are we not, would we not rather listen to ourselves? That's my belief, that's my thinking. Whether you think I'm bananas and it won't work, but I think if we work at it, the people's show is the winner. My haircuts have gone up £2. £2, Alistair Carroll. You said they went up. They've gone up. Come on now, Alistair. Don't let the side down, or we'll have Gordon the grammarian coming on and telling us what is what. Any more likes, please? A few likes would be helpful, if we don't mind. How's your hay fever, Scottie, folks? Mine's acting up. Anybody got the hay fever? Well, I did a wee bit of grass cutting, Kareem. That's always a problem. So there we are. Scottie, have you heard of someone, and he gives me a name I can't pronounce. He was a German Nostradamus. Very interesting. Look him up, Jammer. I shall do. I shall look him up and see what is what. Liked. Paul A. Koss, welcome. Lovely to have you with us. Anybody else's haircut? My haircut was a little dearer because of the beard, because my wonderful hairdresser trimmed it rather beautifully. Rather a good job, I thought. What do we think, guys? Do we like it? So there we go. No, I don't have the hay fever, Kareem. I've been using my voice too much. I do a lot of lecturing, you see, and that uses up a lot of voice, because I did start out doing 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night during lockdown, and I thought I'm going to end up unable to speak by the end of the week. So because it's too much, I think I talk too loud on here, to be honest. I should maybe have the headphones, and then I could hear what is what. So there we are. German Nostradamus. Tell us more, Jamarama. Does everybody believe in things? I put 2 polls up this week. Not tent poles or anything like that. Nor did I have 2 Polish people staying. But I put 2 polls up this week, and they were Twitter polls. And one was, do you think that you would now vote yes to remain in the EU now that you've had a chance to sample Brexit? And 76% of the people said yes. So that means 76% of the people want to remain in the EU. So I think maybe they should look at that. I mean, would you really be upset if they threw the Brexiteers under a bus instead of throwing the UK under a bus? Metaphorically speaking, of course. Very important. So do tell. Hi, Thomas and Finlay. I've got talking. Hi, Finlay. Welcome, Finlay Morris. Nice to have you with us. Dinky-Doo, Neil O'Gormley. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Neil, from down south in Bournemouth. How's things down there, Neil? Have you had any lockdowns or anything? Do tell. Do tell, dear boy. Very, very important. Right. Any more sharing needed? Can everybody share? I'm back to work on Monday, Scottie, says Finlay, after 6 long furloughed months. Now, Finlay, have you got a lot of things done, or are you climbing the wall? There, Finlay's asking for a shout out. He's just had one. You've had one, for goodness sake. What we do, I'm going to share in a group here. I'll just let everybody know. Lovely. Good. I'll just share to that. That'll let everybody know what is what. Can I get a shout out? You've just had a shout out, Finlay. You've had 3 shout outs. I've done absolutely nothing apart from tuning into McClue, says Finlay Morris. My goodness, Finlay, what are you like? That is very, very kind of you to tune into McClue, of course. And everybody in the world should tune into McClue. Now, it might just be my Donald, but I can't understand. I've seen 1 or 2 sites that are not all that spectacular, and they've got hundreds of thousands of followers. And I'm just wondering, what little bit am I needing to join the dots? Scottie, it's a shame there's no Pantos this year. You've been an excellent Panto guy. So there we are. Robert Scrimger. I've had people say that to me before. They said, you'd make a very good dame. Can you see me as Widow Twanky? You know, Aladdin, where is that boy? Yes, he's taken the coup to market. Now, just checking what I'm doing here. Ah, yes. This is a long one, this, you know, guys. When I say a long one, I mean a long road to furrow. Have you ever heard that saying, a long road to furrow? Do tell me what you think it means. The wonderful Scottie, are you on every Friday? Yes, Magnus. We have been for the past couple of weeks. This is our second Friday night pop-up. Last week, I think we did 10 o'clock. But I thought tonight 9 o'clock's maybe better for the people. Give them a wee chance. Oh, no, you wouldn't, Scottie. Glenn says I wouldn't make a good dame. Oh, yes, I would. Not too bad down in sunny Bournemouth, Scottie. Loads of lovely sunshine. Neil O'Gormley, am I not right in thinking that Bournemouth is always sunny? Apart from the very odd bit. Tony says the beer's looking good. It'll keep you warm in the cold winter days. Absolutely, Tony. And boy, do I need to be warm in the cold winter days. Although my sister, when I had the fraudster took all my money, my sister sent me a lovely, lovely warm jacket. And it's done about 10 winters. And it's fantastically warm. You just put this thing on and you are warm. And I think we should look at that for people who are struggling, for homeless people, for people who are alcoholic, people who are drug addicts. You know, a warm coat, a very warm coat. Scottie, so there we are. Davey, I don't know about that. So there we are. I'll have a look and see what's what. Now, what have we got here? Welcome back, says Magnus. And you, Magnus. We've missed you. It's fantastic to have you. And we'll be doing a lot more broadcasting, hopefully, as the winter comes in. But I'm trying to think, what are the best ones? You know? What are the best ones? What's the best times? When suits you to watch McClue? Like I say, last Friday we did 10 through until 11. Well, I think it was a wee bit late. I think we were nearly midnight by the time we'd actually wrapped it in. I'm just having a great time doing all this stuff for you guys. So there we go. A little bit of sharing here. Thank you. No bother, Davey. Yes, we'll look at that. Now, there's another wee bit to share to the Scottie McClue website page, scottie-mcclue.com. Now, that's a great day in for all the family as well as the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has got about 1,000 pieces for you now, guys. You can't say I don't spoil you. So get the subscribers up. Tell 10 to tell 10. I don't understand it. Sometimes thousands come on your YouTube channel, but don't click subscribe and tap the bell. So they're not going to know when you're on. That's a wee bit frustrating. Mostly sunny in sunny Bournemouth a lot of the time. Takes me back to when we lived in Spain. The wonderful Alistair Campbell. 9 o'clock's just about right. I think so, Alistair. I think it's quite a good time. We'll do 9 till 10. Welcome back. I passed on the message. Yes. Thank you, Davey. Very good of you. We'll see what's what there. So there we go. Now, who else have we got here? Right, now tonight I want to know from you how you're getting on with COVID, with lockdown, if you're getting by okay, all that sort of stuff. So do tell us. Spill the beans. Very, very important. McClue anytime, says Magnus. Magnus, thank you. We might do little pop-ups, early evening. They used to be very popular with the youngsters. You pop on about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and there's quite a following of young people as well. But it's important that you all tell everybody, and it's important that everybody subscribes, and we can move on and get the numbers up. Yeah. Getting on to great, except caught and lost 2 salmon fishing in the River Aire today. Of course, when's the salmon season? When does it start? Tony says, can you say hello to Mrs. Mac? She's got a sore back. Not guilty. Nothing to do with me. Poor Mrs. Mac. I think she does too much housework. Maybe you could do a bit more housework, Tony, and take the load off Mrs. Mac's back. That would be the best plan. And maybe she's sitting at a funny angle. Why do we call it a funny angle when there's nothing funny about it? Alistair Campbell says, I practice social distancing, but I've noticed less fear. Yeah, well, I think since the schools went back and they were told to just get on with it, because apparently all the schools and the wonderful teachers had spent a long time measuring up classrooms, putting everything 2 meters apart, taping off areas, getting all the cleaning right, having to clean down all the tables and chairs between classes. They'd done that, and then the government said, just get the kids back, never mind about anything. And, what's that all about? I reckon we're heading back to lockdown next week or the week after, says Paul Acos. Tell us, Paul, what makes you say that? I'm interested in what makes you say that. Is that you back up in business with the streams, Scottie? I'm just back from St. Andrews. I've not been in 20 years. Lovely place. I remember you in Lanarkshire years ago when you met up with a mutual friend. Absolutely, Andrew. Met up with a top man and a top engineer, dare I say. Fantastic man. You tell him I'm asking for him. I love St. Andrews. I love the beach. And did anyone see the report tonight on the news about people are now dropping masks and wipes on the beach and things? Guys, always please take your litter away, because that adds to the risk. There's no magic fairies that come and clean it up. A lot of that stuff doesn't biodegrade easily, especially things like rubber gloves and wet wipes and all that kind of stuff. So please, 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 I beg of you, if you're out and about, take your litter home. Take a bag with you and fill it with all your litter. Say, right, have we tidied up before we go? Because it's your planet as well. There's no magical authority. There are wonderful people that do their best to clean the place. But think about them. Same with the motorway. These poor people out risking their lives because there are idiot drivers on motorways. And these people risk their lives just because you've thrown a bit of litter out your car, a nappy or something. Stop. So there we go. That's what I say. Anyway, now then, they said that the UK is getting stage 2 of corona. When did we get rid of 1 and go on to stage 2? Davy Young, very true. Good night, Scottie and everyone, says the wonderful Kareem. Good night, Kareem. Lovely having you with us. And Dinky-Doo, I say. What does Dinky-Doo mean, Scottie? Says Thomas Penman. Thomas Penman, Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo means is all well with you and the world. I think it can be traced back to the Emperor Zero. When the Romans were going home, the Emperor Zero was addressing the Roman soldiers, the centurions in their toga praetextas. And he said, Dinky-Doo, everybody. And the Romans all replied, Dinky-Doo, zero. So there we are. That's where I think it comes from. Mrs. Mac agrees with you, Scottie. Yes, quite right. Those masks are as dangerous as junkie needles. Jammer rammer. You're absolutely right. They could be carrying coronavirus. So, guys, please dispose of your masks and your PPE carefully in a bin. Polikos. Pardon me. Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle. It's all northern English cities at the moment, and from the border spreading upwards. I think these are all northern cities that used to listen to Scottie McClue all the time. They need to know about this. I spoke to you on FM Century Manchester Radio, Scottie. Thomas Penman, you top man. Have you done a clip tonight, says Magnus. Not yet, Magnus. But no, what's happening there, we'll get some clips doing, I see. Do you know, Thomas Penman, it's 22 years last week since we launched Century Radio in Manchester. 22 years. That amazing. Waiting on a Chinese takeout, says Tam, being delivered. I'm ravenous. Tam, you need to eat properly. You're a growing boy. You should have had lunch. Did Jimmy Durante do a song called Dinky-Doo? I don't know, Tony. I think that, now wait a minute. The ukulele guy, I think he did something about Dinky-Doo. George Formby from Blackpool. And I think that there's something about, oh no. I'm sure there was a group called the Dinky-Doos. Yes, it'll come back to me in a book. So there we are. J.B. Priestley, John Boynton Priestley, The Good Companions. Was the Dinky-Doo in that? I spoke about the death of Princess Diana. You did, Thomas Penman. I probably remember you well. Did you and I reach agreement, or did we fall out? There's always some bargain shops you can get good deals in, Scottie. Glenn, of course. Otherwise, McClue wouldn't be able to live. So there we are. We need to get some bargains, I say. Cheers. Oh, that's lush. Now, tell me what nights you would like a live stream, and we can look at that. I'm just going to do some more work on here. Sharing. And you all do the same. Keep sharing, guys. Looks like you're a good rest, Scottie. You're looking fresh and sharp tonight, son. Oh, yes, Andrew. I think when we were doing a lot of broadcasts, both on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on Twitch, stuff like that, YouTube twice a day, I was probably getting a little bit warm, because, as you know, it's a busy time, multitasking. And this time, 2 years ago, well, a year ago, we were live on Nation Radio. Pardon me. So this time of night, I would just be going on Nation Radio right now at 10 o'clock. What about that? Guys, we're going to have to dash. I'm always saying Dinky-Doo and Glasgow's hello. It's an app. Good man, Tam. Partly Dinky-Doo's Cockney rhyming slang for 22. Dinky-Doo, 22. So it's maybe a bingo call from that point of view. How amazing is that? Guys, I'm going to have to dash. We're out of time. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, and a cheerio. Ta-ra, my loves. Thanks for watching. We'll all meet up again soon. Dinky-Doo. Take care, big man. Take care, Glenn. Here's you back, Alistair Campbell. Dinky-Doo, Thomas Penman, and ta-da, Lars!